will introduce myself right away. My name is Felicity. I'm the coordinator for the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance, and I am located here in Fargo. We'll go around the room and have everyone quickly introduce themselves. Just say your name, what organization you represent, and then we have an introduction question just to kind of get to know each other better, which is, what is one way that you are celebrating the arrival of summer and warmer weather? So I will start with Stephanie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Bloomhagen. I'm the Executive Director of Farms and the Board Chair for the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance. I am way up north in Bottineau, and I've been celebrating the warmer weather by going hiking a lot in Lake Metigoshe State Park.
Okay, all right, Holiday.
Well, I haven't been doing much celebrating lately. I'm Holiday with USDA Rural Development, and I'm here in Bismarck. What am I doing? Gee, Felicity, I just haven't really broken out of the shell yet. I'm still here, all wrapped in my cocoon. I've asked my state director, acting state director, Mark Wax, for a couple of days off at the end of the week so I can plant something on my patio. And maybe that'll be my breakout. I don't know. Sorry.
All right, William or Bill Davis.
Oh, good afternoon. I'm a member of the Farms Board, and I'm also a small producer. And my breakout activity is planting my garden. So I've started a little bit. So, and Holidays, welcome to come out and join me. Thank you.
All right, Robert, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi. Sorry, I don't know if you asked before. I only just got the audio working, but hi, everyone. My name is Robert Pearson. I'm the IT manager with Home of Economy Stores, headquartered out of Grand Forks, North Dakota.
All right, I'll go down my list. Carol.
Hi, I'm Carol Lester. I run Stable Days Youth Ranch in East Grand Forks. And like Bill, I have been busy planting, and bed prepping and watering, unfortunately, because we're so dry out here, but loving the weather.
All right, thank you. Claire.
Hi, everybody. I'm Claire Lowshooter, Local Foods Coordinator for Bismarck, also on the Farms Board of Directors and a small producer. So I've been celebrating spring and the weather by, yeah, we're getting beds prepped and just spending some time outside. And we have ducks, so now they have their pool for the season. So.
Okay, thanks. David, do you want to introduce yourself?
He's muted.
David?
Oh, sorry about that. I was on mute. Apologize for that. Yeah, I was actually met with Claire yesterday about an idea that I'm working on, and she recommended that I join. So I'll just tell you a little bit about that. I'm sort of a managing partner of a new property that we're developing in downtown Bismarck, and we're exploring the potential to put a sort of like a community kitchen and event space in the building, and would look to have a local foods connection with that concept. And so that's, I guess, why I'm calling in today. So.
Okay, thanks. Jan.
Hi, everybody. Jan Stankiewicz in Bismarck. I'm with NDSU Extension, so community health and nutrition specialist, as well as a tribal liaison. And I also serve on the Bismarck Board of Directors, so one of the farmers markets here in town. So with that, lots of farmers market prep, getting things lined up. It's exciting. We open in, oh my gosh, is it 2 weeks? Just about 2 weeks. So that's what we're kind of getting ready for. I'm excited. Thanks.
Okay. Karen.
Hi, this is Karen Ahrens in Bismarck. I'm the coordinator for the Creating a Hunger-Free North Dakota Coalition. To celebrate spring, I've been sniffing lilies of the valley and lilacs, and a little planting, and taking part in a lot of opportunities to provide input to the USDA on opportunities to improve the programs there, and reviewing grants. So grant opportunities. So really exciting time to be engaged in local foods and food and nutrition security work, because there's a lot of opportunities.
Thank you, Karen.
Lucas.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm Lucas Brendel. I'm out of Bismarck, just a small producer of produce and whatnot. I'd say getting ready for the summer for me was last week, getting my high tunnel set up during the call for the wind to pick up and test that I've anchored it to the ground properly. So that's me.
Okay, Matt.
Hi, everybody. I'm Matt Perdue. I'm the Government Relations Director with North Dakota Farmers Union, joining you all from my family's farm in Northwest North Dakota. I have primarily a commodity crops background, but when I was at National Farmers Union before joining the team at NDFU, and worked on local foods, direct marketing issues there, and I'm excited to be on the call for the first time. So thanks a lot for having me.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Megan.
Megan Leidenschlager, Executive Director of Strengthen ND and Treasurer of the North Dakota Local Foods Development Alliance Board of Directors. How I have been celebrating summer is trying desperately to get my grass to grow and to get my grass seed to take root, because she's pretty brown and pretty sad.
Megan, grass is overrated.
I know, it's that neighborhood pressure though.
I hear ya.
Ellen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Ellen Knudsen Duffy. I am in Bismarck. I own River Road Gardens and also sit on the board of North Dakota Local Foods Alliance. And I'm out working now, so I'll be planting plants while we chat.
Wow.
Molly?
Hi, I'm Molly McLean. I'm currently the director with Dakota West Arts Council, and I was formerly with North Dakota Farmers Union, and I serve on the board of NDLFDA as the secretary.
Okay.
And what I'm trying to celebrate spring is try to control the weeds that are wanting to take over my yard, which we took away the grass to try and figure out something else last year. And now that I'm battling weeds.
Scott, do you want to introduce yourself?
I am Scott Grandy Hill. I'm a faculty at the Sustainable Ag Food Systems Program at United Tribes Technical College in Bismarck. Yeah, you know, we're celebrating spring out here. We just got a second succession of green onions and some kohlrabi in. But the real treat is that once that 10-centimeter soil temp hits 65, the asparagus really starts coming out of the ground, and that's great.
For sure.
Okay, Craig?
Hey, okay. Craig Burns, I'm with the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks with the Department of Social Work, vice chair of the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance, and also on the board of directors of a organization called Wanawota, which I will be talking about later in the meeting. So I'll leave you all in suspense for that. And then I'll also talk about the other things that we're working on in Grand Forks then in a little bit. Oh, springtime. So I'm working on getting everything ready, and finally I'm used to I moved here from Guam and then Hawaii, so I'm finally getting used to not having a 12-month growing season, and am getting ready to plant this year, our third year here in North Dakota. And, you know, when the work is done, enjoying some hops and barley based beverages next to the fire.
Okay, Quinn.
Hey guys, my name's Quinn. I'm coming to you from my car. I just passed through Page, North Dakota, in the middle of nowhere. Anyways, today I'm coming to you as a board member of the Red River Harvest Cooperative, which I believe we'll be talking more about later. And lately I've been involved in a lot of things, so we're just gonna focus on that for now. But anyways, thank you, and I look forward to talking to you.
Okay, I know I have Jamie and Kara left. Is there anyone else that I have not introduced yet?
Hi, this is Jill Hawkinson. I am in the vehicle, but I am dialed in here, so just wanted to let you know.
Okay, thank you, Jill. All right, I will quickly pull up the agenda. The first thing we have right now on our agenda is actually an update from Jamie, so that's why I was saving you for last. Let me pull this up.
Yeah, did Robert Pearson and Kara Hoff get to introduce themselves?
So, is it okay, Steph, if I just jump in?
Yeah.
Then Carol follows suit with me. So.
Oh, Kara's with you. Okay.
Yes. So, for those of you that do not know who I am, I know there's some new faces in the crowd, which is great. I'm Jamie Good, with the North Dakota Department of Ag, and through today, I'm the local foods specialist for the state. But after today, I have accepted a new position with the Department of Ag, and I am moving from human food to animal food, and I'm going to be the feed specialist for the state. So I just wanted to take a little time off the agenda. I appreciate you guys letting me do this. It's been a fun 8 years. I've learned a lot, gotten to be a lot of good friends with a lot of you on the call, and this is just kind of my little, I mean, not goodbye, just kind of a see you later. Going to be doing something a little different for a little while. So, and Kara Haff is on the call. She is with the department, and I will let Kara introduce herself.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. I am Kara Haff, the Ag Marketing and Business Development Coordinator for the State Department of Ag, and Jamie is moving into his new role. I've just been in mine 2 weeks, actually. I was the Pride of Dakota specialist for the Department of Ag for the last 3 years, and now taking on a new role with the business development and ag marketing. So we're in kind of a period of transition over here. We'll be training a lot of new staff in the upcoming couple of months here. So bear with us as we bring in the new local foods specialist. We are closing that position this Friday at midnight. So if you have any folks that you guys think would be a good candidate for the position, by all means, encourage them to check out the job announcement on the state website, and they can certainly apply for it. And I'm hoping maybe end of next week, the beginning of the week of June 1st, we will be able to start interviews for that position. So bear with us as we fill the position and rebuild. I don't know if rebuild is the right word, but recenter ourselves in local foods and start in our path with a new person.
Okay, thank you so much.
Oh, sweet, Karen.
Saying I heard my name in there earlier. I apologize. This is Robert Pearson again. When I introduced myself the first time, I did it very quickly because I hadn't actually heard any audio up until that very question. Like, hey, Robert, introduce yourself. Like, oh, okay. No context there for what I was attempting to do with the introduction. So I can give a little bit more. I'll do the same thing again and give a little bit more reason why I'm here. So hi, everyone. I'm Robert Pearson. I'm the IT manager with Home of Economy Stores. We're based out of Grand Forks, North Dakota. And I was invited in here today. We've been looking at getting both a farmers market going at our store. You know, we have lots of space to offer, and would love to be able to help out that way. And then we also have idea is that we could be a drop-off point for farmers to be able to make it a little easier for them to get farm goods into the hands of local consumers if they didn't have to tie their schedules so tightly to each other. So if, one gentleman that's raising, grass-fed beef, wants to drop off meat, we can stick it in our freezers on a Monday, then customer can come pick it up on a Thursday. It's very easy for us to do to help, but it seems like it would make a big difference. So I'm here looking with those ideas as my starting point and then seeing where we can go from there.
Thank you, Robert. And the confusion was my fault. You did introduce yourself at the beginning, and when Craig.
But I did it badly.
Oh, when Craig shares a bit about what's going on in Grand Forks, we'll leave some time for you to share a bit too, to connect the two. I also want to make sure we finish up our conversation with Kara and Jamie. Jamie, we will certainly miss your presence on the calls and your work in local foods. And as Karen said, we'll miss you and good luck. And congratulations on your new position with the Department of Ag.
I'm moving up in the world. Literally, I moved from 6th floor to 14th floor. So I'll take every win I can get. So.
Okay. The next thing we have on the agenda is an update from Craig.
Oh, okay. I thought I was further down. Am I set to share my screen, or can you give me a permission, please?
You should be good now.
Okay. All right. So Felicity asked me to share some of what is going on over on our side. So again, we're located in Grand Forks. So I'm going to talk about two main things we've got going on, and then Robert, we met, I think sometime last year. A bunch of us went over to Home of Economy, and I'm glad glad you're here at this meeting, Robert, because I don't think anything went anywhere after that last meeting. So it would be awesome, particularly as you hear about this Wanawota project or organization, what we're doing. But anyway, let me bring that stuff up. Okay, so the first one, and since Jamie is still here, he was kind of here at the very beginning for what this whole thing was. And when he said he was leaving, I was afraid that it was because of my horrible reporting on the community orchard grant. So, but no, okay, I wasn't the worst. Yeah, because someone asked, when are your reports due when we got a fiscal sponsor? And I said, whenever Jamie tells me they're late. So anyway, so the Friendship Gardens and Community Orchard started with one of the Department of Ag's Community Orchard grants 3 years ago, right after I first arrived and following one of my first meetings with the Alliance. And so we applied, got it, it bounced to, I think, 2 or 3 different organizations until we landed with the ARC Upper Valley. And so we got the trees in finally last fall, and we have interest from our Bhutanese community and our African community, as well as the rest of the community. So our focus in looking for people and recruiting has been with the clientele of the ARC, individuals with disabilities, as well as new Americans, and those who, primarily looking at those who can't access their traditional foods in the markets here, and giving an opportunity for them to grow what will grow in this climate for there. And so to give you, it's not loading. Oh, there we go. So this green space here, we're right next to the train yards across from UND. So this green space is what the ARC Upper Valley was kind enough to let us use. And so so the northern section is all, we have different trees and berries and so on here. And then we're doing some raised accessible beds. I found a a source of, add those large apple crates that are transported. I don't know what happened to my Google Earth here. That are going to be raised and accessible for individuals with, with mobility challenges and so on. And I'm going to talk pretty fast, and then if there's questions. The second one is Nonprofit Food Pantry, which is 501c3, started by one of my former students when he was at Chandeska Community College doing his pre-social work courses. And if you get the UND Alumni Magazine, there's a nice 2-page spread on both him, Patrick Schmid, and the organization in there. But it started when he saw his classmates at Spirit Lake. In breaks, they go to between classes, they'd go to the cantina at the community college, and he'd see them eating like, crackers, ketchup packets, because they didn't have food. And he's like, one of his class projects was, let's do something about this. And so he did. And he used some scholarship money, whatever money he could get up, and started food distribution. And so from 2019 until this year, in the last 3 years, and there's Patrick here on the left, they've distributed over 160 tons of food. And this Saturday is the largest distribution. This Saturday, we're getting a truck from the food bank. I always forget the name, the one here in the valley, of 70,000 pounds. And to give you an idea of the need in a community like Devil's Lake, that 70,000 will be gone within a couple of hours, and there will still be people in line waiting to get boxes of food, because the need is so great. And he serves and it's off reservation, so he serves both the reservation community, the local community, and anyone from anywhere is welcome to come, right? It's open to anyone and everyone. And so we're looking at expanding, looking at some A&A grants, getting into some production with the community and so on, and finding a way to link to Devil's Lake and Grand Forks. And so that's one reason I'm so happy that Robert is here today, because of finding that link and that connection, and an organization like Wanawota that would be willing to be part of that, or take some kind of lead in those projects that I know Home of Economy is interested in. So that's where we're at. We have our farmers market and other things in this area, some producers, and where did he go? I don't see him. The cooperative guy. So yeah, did he disappear? Anyways, so I'm interested in getting to meet Quinn too, because it sounds like he might be doing some of the things we've been talking about doing here, and if we can find a way to leverage each other's resources to make a bigger impact, that would be fantastic. So that's what I've got. Quick lowdown. What questions you have? Anyone?
At a recent Creating a Hunger-Free North Dakota meeting that Karen facilitates, we heard from Mary Green Trottier, who runs the Spirit Lake Food Distribution Program.
Oh.
And I'm wondering if there are connections between Wanawota and her program. Yeah.
Not that I'm aware of. I know that the decision to I'm trying to think of the most politic way to and diplomatic way to say this, is it was a very intentional decision to have it off, to have it not connected to tribal land, and to avoid let's just say entanglements in tribal politics. Is that a diplomatic way to say it, because there's challenges in that, and so it was a very deliberate decision to keep it separate from that. Though the casino has been very good about letting us use some of their space for distributions when available. But since we've moved to the weekends and Saturdays, they're too busy for us to use their parking lot for distribution. So we're over at by the high school, or we've been at the old Walmart parking lot last month.
Great.
Anyone else on either of the projects? And I don't know if that's a good segue. I talked fast, so if Robert needs some time, he can have some time. But that might be a good segue into Robert. And then I don't know if he remembers the big meeting we had last year or the year before with a bunch of people.
Oh yeah, no, very well remember it.
See, we don't have that visual thing. I'm not good at reading your tone there, how you remember it. I'm kidding.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. No, I'm having to run around. I got both kids are at home, and particularly the little one's hooked up to her feeding pump right now, so I can't.
Oh my gosh. Okay, no,
I can't sit down too much. So
no, I understood. I was just giving you a hard time. So
no, that's no problem.
Yeah. But I don't know, are you able to talk a bit about what y'all got going
I mean,
on?
essentially, essentially our plans are unchanged. I think from our meeting last year, I have to say that was my fault. We left that meeting, and I don't think I had down a good, clear, hey, this is what we need to do next as far as contacting folks things go. So we had, we had the space cleared out within the week. We were ready to go, and then we started asking around, like, okay, well, what now? How do we get people in here? And I didn't really, I didn't have the right contact. I didn't take down the right contact information, and just that stuff didn't go anywhere. So it's a new year. We're going to try again.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So,
but and just to say, I mean, we still have the space available. I mean, we put some other stuff in that spot, but again, I say go, it's cleaned within a week, and we're going. It's just not hard. Same thing goes for the farmers market that we'd like to get going in the parking lot. The parking lot doesn't have to be built. It's there. So if I've got people on the roster, we just go.
Okay.
So how can North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance help further that effort? We've got Lindy Berg here, who's the extension agent in Towner County. That's not in Grand Forks, but it's not too far away. And of course, Carol, who is part of those efforts in Grand Forks. And I think Carol mentioned that you were also had expressed the possibility of this spreading to other home of economy stores in other communities.
Oh, absolutely. I think, there's a couple of stores where we might not quite have the room. I think, like our Watford City store is a very, very compact location for what, what we're trying to do. But I don't know, it's like, it's one of those things to say at the same time, this really doesn't take that much room, where I look at a store and I think, okay, I've got 35,000 square feet, and, we're looking to carve out, maybe 200 square foot of shelf space in the back. I might just be able to do that anyway. So no, definitely Grand Forks is going to be our prototype. Our Minot store, I think, is a obvious shoe-in for the next one. But yeah, this isn't a one store thing.
So you need farmers?
Pretty much. What we know we have the space, we have the managerial agreement to want to do this. My bosses are all love the idea. That's, who primarily was at the meeting last year, was because with, particularly with my little one, I work from home is kind of mandatory for me for the moment with the pandemic and everything, and her health. But the we're willing. We have the space. It doesn't cost us anything, so it's very easy for us to to offer that. Very happy for us. We're very happy to advertise. Just the dickens out of it. We're Facebook for this sort of thing is incredibly cheap, and I'm going to state some obvious facts, but it's useful so that everybody knows, where our brains are. I mean, we are a for-profit company, and it's good attention, that sort of thing with advertising. Any attention is good attention. It's like, well, that's not really quite true, but this is good attention, so it gives me something positive to advertise. That really doesn't put us out either. So, it's such a nice deal for us as we get to do some real good in the communities, and it's good for business too, which is necessary. We have to keep our doors open. So sort of all the above, but that's what we have. Is we have space, space, manpower, and advertising know-how. What we need are, the farmers, because once we have goods, we can advertise it. Once we can advertise it, we'll have people coming on through, and then that just sort of builds itself, hopefully.
Well, for the sake of continuing on with our meeting, I could say that we could set up a separate meeting. Farms has Connect and Felicity. Well, Felicity is also working for Farms too with our Farmers Market internship program. And so we have, connections with Town Square Farmers Market with Dawn. We're recruiting an intern for that farmers market. So we would certainly be happy to help recruit farmers for this venture.
Sure, no, that'd be great. And then the one thing that I'd want to make sure I say there, because I can't stress it enough, because any kind of misunderstanding here is one of those things that threatens to derail things. We're very much not trying to compete with the Town Square Farmers Market. That has come up a couple of times in past conversations. It's like, I want it on a different day. I don't want to be seen whatsoever as trying to take attention away from that effort. But what I have also heard from the farmers that come into our stores is that, they could certainly do more. Say, hey, it's great that we do this on a Saturday, but it would be great also to have some place to do this on like a Wednesday during the week when people are, before people have gone out of town for the weekends, especially in the summer. That seems, and again, we have the space. So that seems like a match made in heaven. We have the space. There's the community desire for it. And I say go, we can be up and running next week, and we can move very quickly.
Well, any last questions before we move on?
Nope, I'm good.
And, Karen and I also heard from Lori Sapu at the last Creating a Hunger-Free North Dakota meeting. And Felicity has asked her to speak at our next month's meeting. But there are some great rural grocery collaboration efforts going on north of Grand Forks in some small towns with some collaborative buying and some locker systems. So I would love to see the potential realized for these two projects to eventually connect and
and there's probably a great dovetail there. Do you know, are they up in Grafton? That's kind of the next most substantial town to the north of Grand Forks.
Yep, that's the place. They're called the
We have a store there.
The Rad Co-op.
Mm-hmm.
And they've just incorporated, and it's a really unique program. They're working to launch online ordering at their small grocery stores, and also build some food lockers, which would be kind of what you're doing, except you already have the building, and they're building some food lockers. So we have Hoople in Edinburgh, and let's see, trying to get all the stores. So up there, and I'll put the link in the chat so you can see a map of that Rural Access Distribution Co-op, or if you Google Rural Grocery Project North Dakota, you'll be taken to the REC website and can learn more about the project, and it'll be great to hear from Lori next time.
Yeah. So it's really exciting to see these projects happening, and that's why we exist, to connect all the little projects that are happening and help us work together and support each other. Should we move on to Quinn, Felicity?
Yeah, I think, Quinn, are you ready?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
I apologize if there's background noise. I'm cutting through the wind. I'm on the interstate heading to Fargo. Anyways, my name's Quinn Renfant. I am coming to you as a board member of the Red River Harvest Cooperative. We just formed this past few months, entirely over Zoom, which is fantastic. But the goal is kind of to facilitate the needs that were left open when the Prairie Roots Cooperative in Fargo, North Dakota had fallen apart, specifically with the producers of the area. And right now we have a location for pickup in Moorhead, Minnesota, Moorhead Massage and Wellness. We're working with local food marketplace to facilitate our online order distribution logistics. But the goal is pretty much just to connect and bring a tangible organization to the area in the urban environment to facilitate the needs of both the consumers of the area as well as the producers. At this point, we're kind of just in the baby stages. Last week was our practice run. This week is kind of, piggybacking on that and just kind of learning as we go. We're not entirely sure what this will become or what level we can go to. We all have hopes and dreams as to what we can do with this. But right now, it's literally just trying to do something. And I just want to say that I would love to connect with anybody else across the state that is looking to do anything like this. I know that recently the Bisman Co-op came out that they're in a crisis situation. And I had previously worked at the Amazing Grains Food Cooperative in Grand Forks and watched that fall. And then to see the one in Fargo, that was heartbreaking. So I know how delicate these organizations are, but I also know how vital they are to the communication of our local food system. So I would just like to say, if anybody has any input or resources they would like to connect us with, please reach out to me or any of our board members that you can find on our website. It's probably not that pretty yet. Like, again, we're grassroots, just trying to get something going, trying to work our way through the season and just trying to see what we can get going. My name's Quinn. Reach out to me anytime. I apologize, it's not the way I wanted to deliver this, but I'm in the middle of the road. And yeah, so thank you.
Quinn, may we put your email address in the chat?
Absolutely, please do.
Okay, quinnrenfant@gmail.com. I'm just pulling it up.
Yes. And outside of that, I am working on building my own farm startup operation. We're going to be doing geothermal aquaponics just south of Minot, North Dakota, looking at going institutional, trying to procure farm to school and trying to attack that whole endeavor and make a working model that we can duplicate across the state. So feel free to talk to me about anything. I will definitely be reaching out to some of the other people I see on this call because I think our visions align. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for that, Quinn. This is Jan with NDSU Extension. I had chatted with Amber about the producer co-op becoming SNAP authorized. So that was exciting to have those conversations. And I know that she had put in an application, and so just kind of waiting to see what happens there.
Awesome.
But yes, on all fronts, NDSU Extension is interested and supportive in producer co-ops, farm to school, all those things.
Awesome. Thank you.
And also too, I guess I should mention like a double up program. So we're working with several farmers markets across the state to implement double up programs. So it would be interesting to see how that might work for a producer co-op.
Yes, absolutely. And I know that many people on this call also realize that there's a big void in our supply chain from the months of October to June, basically, where we don't have a lot of local food. And I think that there's a huge opportunity there, economically speaking, as well as just improving people's lives and their ability to access the food. So that's kind of my own personal goal.
Great. And we're making lots of great connections today. and sharing some contact info in the chat. I would also say that if you would please maybe email Felicity, ndlocalfoods@gmail.com, with your contact info and your project. We also have an updates section on the webpage, but Felicity and I can make sure that this information gets shared to the list, either through the updates or through some special emails, just to make sure we can all maintain these connections.
I think, Stephanie, we can move on to your section if you are ready.
Yeah. So we are, as the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance, looking at the USDA Ag Marketing Services Regional Food Systems Partnership Grant Program. We have made some strides in the last year. We've hired Felicity as an AmeriCorps coordinator, and we've added some structure to the monthly meetings, and we've got a grant from the Consensus Council. We're in the process of building a new website so that we can connect more effectively, but we're growing, and I think it's time to scale up. And so this Regional Food Systems Partnership Grant is exactly for what we are and what we want to do, building food systems and creating the infrastructure and the organizing efforts to build more successful food systems. It just happens that because of stimulus money, these grants are more accessible this year. They're expecting to fund more applications. So I think instead of going into the details about the grant itself, I want to share with you the Alaska Food Policy Council, which got the grant last year, and some of the things that they're doing as a way to spark some ideas about what we might do to grow our organization. So these are slides that Karen shared with me. Thank you so much, Karen. She attended a webinar on behalf of the group. Actually, I think the webinar was at the same time as our monthly meeting last month. So Alaska struck me because, they're rural like us. They're very spread out. They've got a map here showing, they serve a much larger area than we do. And they are using this grant to create a coordinated system across quite a few different partners, as you can see. And just checking, you can see my slides, right?
You're good.
Thank you. And what they did was, where's the note? Okay, they created place-based working regional nodes with a statewide connection. So working from hyper-local to borough level. They improved connection, communication, and collaboration, which is exactly what we are trying to do. And they are working to identify community food systems assets, barriers, and capacities. They're creating a centralized assets library in order to foster connection and collaboration. And this is a 3-year project, but I think they're realistic in that what they actually want to achieve will take 10 years. So this is just, what what impact can we make within 3 years? How can we move the needle forward just a bit and make some progress in the 3 years of the grant? So they have 13 regional nodes with a community food system asset mapping session that they are yet to have.
Hey, Steph.
Yes?
What they're calling nodes, do we refer to as hubs, food hubs? I haven't heard that term before.
Karen, do you have a better sense of what their nodes were?
No, I don't think that they're necessarily a physical presence where food comes in and goes out and is aggregated, but they're nodes that are places around which food system actions are happening, I believe. So I don't think every node is an actual hub, but it's a concentrated place of action.
Interesting. Thank you.
And I just got these slides right before the meeting. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is I would like to organize us as nodes, organized around a central organizing group, but I'm not sure if it's more appropriate to have the nodes be geographically focused or subject area focused. So would it be a Western North Dakota group and an Eastern North Dakota group and a Central North Dakota group, or would it be aggregation, beginning farmer education, processing, transportation, things like that? Karen, did you get a sense of how they plan to organize their nodes, and if this graphic is about that, or if this is more just trying to map their food system?
My sense of it is that map is a map of their food system. But I do like your question, Stephanie, in different ways to organize. Being local foods, I'd only thought of because in my head, when I've thought about our efforts in local foods, we do seem to have centers of activity popping up, and one is in the western part of the state and the other one in the northeast, and now we have Red River Valley Food Producers Co-op, and definitely, the Fargo-Moorhead area. But also, just to get us thinking more, I do like the suggestion that we might organize by what we're doing.
I'm going to stop sharing so that I can see everybody again.
Hey, this is Quinn. The only comment I would have on that is on a publicity side of things. I think that the presentation itself should be simple. And so as people are involved, yes, everybody has their part to play. But if we're looking at the community outreach / educational thing, being very precise as to what the whole entire thing is, I think would help people understand it a lot better. And I think that farms or NDLFA would be kind of a really pinnacle part of that, and kind of bringing that all into one thing.
Thank you, Quinn. So this grant is due July 6th. So we've formed a committee that's working on writing the grant. And sorry, my assistant is, I'll put her down. We did meet on Friday, Karen, Felicity, Ellen, and I, and we've just started discussing possible partners for the grant. So if you or your organization is very interested in participating in this, let Felicity know, and we will make sure to include you in future conversations. We also started discussing the match. There is a match requirement, and we may write some foundation grants to achieve that. We also might request support of in-kind, like people's time commitments to achieve the match. And then a few ideas, one idea I've put out there is that I would like to procure grant funds so that we can hire a full-time paid staff person that is in addition to the AmeriCorps position that Felicity holds. So call them an executive director or coordinator, whatever you want to call them, but a person who has 40 hours a week dedicated to making sure that whatever system we create, making sure that the nodes get the time and attention they need, having those coffee meetings, building those relationships, which are crucial to a fully functioning, successful system.
How much money are you seeking?
Well, the minimum request for this grant is 100,000. So
and what's the match? Is the match 1-to-1?
The match is either 10% or 25%.
Okay.
We'd probably go after we'd probably apply under the 10% match. So that's about $10,000, which Consensus Council grants are 10,000. Cliff Bar Foundation is 5,000 if we could get that. And then there's also the Bremer Foundation, which can be over 100,000. Although we'd be more successful if we pursued something in the range of 30,000-ish.
Stephanie, remind me, is the 10% match the one that we can also use in-kind hours, or is that the 25%?
It's the 10%.
Okay, gotcha.
And it can be a mix of in-kind and cash match.
Yeah. So it's 2:54, so we should probably move on to updates, but just wanted to make you all aware of this. And I think Felicity will let you know when we have our next grant planning meeting.
Yeah.
Yep. So, but the main thing we're focusing right now on is really defining our objectives and our goals. What do we want to accomplish? And then establishing those partnerships, because it is a partnership grant. So that's a key part of the grant.
And if you have ideas or thoughts or input, feel free to email me or call me. We would love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, specifically, what are your thoughts? What are your needs? What do we need to pull this off? I mean, it's only through sustained support for someone whose job it is really to get this done that we can move forward. We saw under the USDA Rural Development, when it was a priority and there was time and resources put to it, we were able to move forward. With the support of Strengthen ND, when there were time and resources to be able to put forward to it, we made another little inch ahead with Felicity support and farm support. And last year we've kind of grown by another into the toddler stage. And so I would really love for everyone's ideas to come together to really help this take off.
Absolutely. Thank you, Karen. And Felicity, maybe we'll send out an email with a one question poll. What do we need to have a vibrant local food system in North Dakota? Mm-hmm. So you can all spend some time pondering that and then share your input. Felicity, what are our updates this week?
Yeah, let me share these, pull them up really quick. Okay, well, they're, okay. I guess I'll just go through these kind of quickly. Starting from the top, the North Dakota Grazing Lands Coalition has a series of summer events. Let me just zoom out a little so we can see these. So they have 4 different events, and I have them linked here on a variety of topics, but the link to their website is here, as well as some contact information. Another series of events this summer is there's a 4-part gardening series. The first one is on May 22nd at a couple different places, but you can find information on the Minokan Farm website. And then I also have this link here as well. So just some events to keep in mind as the summer goes on, and we can resume field days and everything. Heidi had given an update about them starting their community garden and their farmers market. And I'll just like to add that we're seeking a farms intern at the Spirit Lake Farmers Market. So that's a paid internship position for up to 15 hours a week. If you're interested in that, then you can email me. But we are looking for to place an intern at this market. And then Karen, did you want to talk about your update from the Creating a Hunger-Free North Dakota Coalition?
No, people can read it, but just highlighting how impacts at the federal programs level impacting North Dakota and how we're coming through COVID. That's it.
So, yep, lots of great information here to read through. And then Claire had posted a update about Biz Market seeking new vendors for the market season. I went through that quickly. If there's anything that Stephanie that you wanted to add, or anyone else.
Well, I think Megan might have just signed off, but I wanted to mention that we are also recruiting farmers market interns from Minot to serve Minot Farmers Market or North Prairie Farmers Market. And Farms will be posting a VISTA program coordinator position soon to help us with our internship programs and our new mentorship initiatives. So keep an eye out for that, as well as a full-time program manager position who will eventually manage Farm Beginnings, internships, and all of our educational programs, so that I can go back to doing the things that an executive director should be doing, such as fundraising.
Our member updates document, I do try to keep it updated throughout the month. So lots of good events and job postings and all types of things going on in local foods. So I will send a link to this out as well when I send the minutes from this meeting.